The midday sun beat down on Johannesburg, turning the corrugated iron roofs into shimmering mirages. A beaded sweat trickled down Amina's temple as she clutched the worn leather satchel containing their carefully prepared application. Beside her, Kofi, his brow furrowed in concentration, double-checked the building number. This was it, 47 Jacaranda Street, their dream apartment. The building, a refurbished Victorian townhouse, stood out amongst the concrete sprawl. Its mint green paint gleamed, and climbing bougainvillea cascaded down the balcony railings. Amina imagined evenings spent there, sipping hibiscus tea and watching the sunset paint the sky in fiery hues. A neatly dressed woman with a clipped blonde bob answered the door. Amina, mustering a smile, explained their interest in the vacant flat. The woman, Ms. van der Merwe, ushered them in with a businesslike efficiency. This was it. This was their fresh start. Kofi presented the application. Ms. van der Merwe scanned it with a practiced eye. A frown creased her forehead. Amina's heart soared. Ah, she said, tapping the document with a manicured nail, a lovely flat, isn't it? Unfortunately, it's already been taken. Amina felt a pang of disappointment. Oh, she managed, forcing a smile. Kofi, however, his optimism unwavering, perked up. Have you considered adding us to a waiting list in case something falls through? Ms. van der Merwe's smile faltered. Well, she hesitated. Typically, I wouldn't bother for one flat, but you do seem like a decent couple. Hope flickered in Amina's chest. Thank you, she said, her voice sincere. Just give me your contact number, Ms. van der Merwe said, and with a final, somewhat reluctant smile, she ushered them out. The walk back was a blur. Disappointment sat heavy in Amina's stomach. She couldn't help but feel a tinge of suspicion. The apartment had looked pristine, nothing suggesting it was recently occupied. Maybe it was still available, and Ms. van der Merwe had simply not preferred them. Back at their apartment, the cramped walls felt even more stifling. Amina tried to focus on her freelance writing, but the image of the Jacaranda Street apartment kept intruding. Kofi, usually the optimist, was uncharacteristically quiet. 3 days later, while Amina scrolled through online apartment listings, a familiar address caught her eye. It was 47 Jacaranda Street, advertised again, spacious 2-bedroom flat available for rent. A cold fury ignited in her chest. Kofi, she called out, her voice laced with anger. Kofi rushed in, alarm in his eyes. Amina showed him the listing. They told us it was taken. Kofi's face hardened. Maybe Ms. van der Merwe didn't like us, he said, his voice tight. Amina's anger simmered. It wasn't just about not liking them, it was about something more, a subtle bias that left a bitter taste in her mouth. We can't let this go, she declared. We deserve a fair chance. Fueled by a blend of anger and determination, Amina drafted an email. She addressed it to Ms. van der Merwe, politely but firmly outlining their experience and requesting an explanation. She hit send, a knot of anxiety settling in her stomach. The day stretched on. Amina kept refreshing her inbox, only to be met with silence. Finally, just as she was about to give up, a reply arrived. Ms. van der Merwe apologized for the misunderstanding. Apparently, there had been a minor glitch in the system, causing the flat to appear unavailable. She assured them their application was still being considered. Amina wasn't convinced. The timing was too suspicious. However, she forwarded the email to Kofi, a flicker of hope rekindled. The next few days were filled with nail-biting anticipation. Then, finally, on a sunny Thursday morning, their phone rang. It was Ms. van der Merwe. This time, her voice carried a hint of nervousness. Mr. and Mrs. Sibia, she began, we apologize for the inconvenience. After careful consideration, we'd like to offer you the flat at 47 Jacaranda Street. A gasp escaped Amina's lips. We would love to take it, she exclaimed, her voice trembling with excitement. Ms. van der Merwe made arrangements for the apartment. The following weeks flew by in a whirlwind of activity. Amina and Kofi spent their evenings after work diligently painting, cleaning, and arranging furniture. They unearthed hidden treasures from thrift stores and flea markets, adding splashes of their personalities to the apartment. Amina hung a vibrant kente cloth tapestry above the fireplace, and Kofi proudly displayed a collection of African masks he'd collected on his travels. Moving day arrived, a crisp winter morning abuzz with nervous energy. Their friends, a motley crew of artists, musicians, and fellow immigrants, descended upon the apartment, their laughter and chatter filling the space. Boxes were wrestled, furniture jostled, and in no time, their little haven was taking shape. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the room, they finally stood back, surveying their handiwork. The apartment, once sterile and impersonal, now brimmed with warmth and personality. A low table, piled high with cushions, sat nestled in the corner, inviting evenings spent playing board games and sharing stories. Their first night in the apartment was filled with a quiet contentment. Curled up on the plush sofa with mugs of steaming hot chocolate, they gazed out the window at the twinkling city lights. The view wasn't of rolling hills or vast landscapes, but it was theirs, a tangible symbol of their hard work and determination. Their lives at Jacaranda Street settled into a comfortable rhythm. Mornings began with the rhythmic clatter of Kofi's coffee grinder and the lively strains of Afrobeat music. Amina, inspired by the new space, found herself churning out a steady stream of articles, the words flowing effortlessly from her fingers. Evenings were spent exploring their vibrant neighborhood, discovering hidden cafes serving steaming bowls of Ethiopian stew and bustling night markets overflowing with colorful fabrics and handcrafted jewelry. One sunny Saturday afternoon, a knock on the door startled them. Opening it, they found themselves face to face with their next-door neighbor, Ms. Delamini, a petite woman with warm brown eyes and a disarming smile. She held a plate piled high with freshly baked banana bread, its aroma wafting enticingly. "Welcome to the building," Ms. Delamini beamed, handing them the plate. "I always bake a little something for new neighbors." A wave of gratitude washed over Amina. In a city that sometimes felt impersonal, here was a gesture of kindness, a bridge between strangers. Life unfurled in unexpected ways. Ms. Delamini introduced them to a local community garden, where they spent weekends learning the art of urban farming from a group of enthusiastic retirees. Saturdays became a ritual of laughter, shared meals, and earthy hands stained with fertile soil. One evening, as they were grilling on their tiny balcony, a familiar laugh drifted over the fence. It was Sarah, a fellow artist from their old building. Delighted to see each other, they discovered a whole network of friends living within a few blocks. Soon, impromptu gatherings filled the evenings with music, lively discussions, and the clinking of glasses. Life wasn't always smooth sailing. There were moments of frustration, like the time a clogged drain turned their bathroom into a temporary swimming pool. But as they tackled these challenges together, their sense of shared purpose grew stronger. They were happy their dream house was finally theirs and looked forward to better opportunities the neighborhood could offer.